What if the vast emerald expanse of the Jurassic Period, an age of colossal titans and primordial forests, was not merely a canvas upon which life unfolded, but an active, almost sentient entity, fiercely protective of its own narrative? Imagine for a moment that the relentless march of deep time, far from being a passive conveyor of history, possessed a profound, almost surgical indifference, meticulously designed to erase any whisper, any echo, any aberration of a future yet to unfold. Could this ancient world have acted as a cosmic filter, ensuring that only its indigenous story remained, flawlessly expunging anything that dared to deviate from its appointed path? This is the quiet, unsettling question that beckons us into the depths of a profound temporal mystery. Consider the sheer scale of the Jurassic, a sprawling epoch stretching from 201 to 145 million years ago, where Earth itself was a living, breathing testament to untamed power. Its atmosphere, rich and dense, carried the scent of damp earth and ancient flora, a world utterly alien to our modern senses. Yet within this magnificent, brutal equilibrium, a chilling anomaly persists: the absolute, almost supernatural impossibility of any foreign element, any misplaced temporal traveler, or any premature technological whisper to leave even the faintest, most fleeting trace. It's as if the very fabric of that ancient world held an unspoken oath, an inherent capacity for utter obliteration, ensuring its pristine, undisturbed sovereignty. This wasn't simply a matter of tooth and claw or the immense churn of geological processes. Scientists have long grappled with what they call the Jurassic anomaly, a statistically improbable lacuna in the fossil record. No inexplicable chemical signature, no impossibly advanced alloy, no microscopic anomaly of anything that could be definitively identified as non-indigenous to the period's established biological or geological parameters has ever been found. It suggests a temporal barrier, an impenetrable membrane that instantaneously and flawlessly nullified any intrusion, leaving behind no evidence of its brief, doomed presence. The mystery deepens with this perfect, almost supernatural erasure, a silence so profound it seems to speak of an active, unseen force. What if this epoch was a temporal singularity, a period so perfectly self-contained that it actively rejected all external influence, like a biological firewall against an invading pathogen? If you find yourself drawn to these hidden clues, to the quiet contemplation of what might lie beneath the surface of accepted history, and if this type of profound mystery resonates with your spirit of inquiry, then consider subscribing to our channel. Join us as we journey through forgotten chapters and explore the tantalizing what-ifs that reshape our understanding of existence. For in the heart of this ancient enigma, we find not just a geological puzzle, but a philosophical challenge to our place in the grand tapestry of time. Could it be that the colossal canvas of deep time, far from being a passive receptacle for our past, actively rejected certain threads, meticulously weaving a seamless tapestry of what was and fiercely expunging what could never be? This contemplation on the profound fragility of existence against the backdrop of an epoch that seemed to possess an almost sentient capacity for utter obliteration leaves us with a sense of awe and unease. The sheer completeness of this erasure pushes beyond simple decay, hinting at a mechanism far more sophisticated, a cosmic shredder that left not even dust. The Jurassic Period, then, becomes more than just a realm of magnificent beasts. It looms as a silent, unyielding guardian of its own epoch, a testament to a profound, unseen mechanism of cosmic preservation. What does this absolute absence truly signify? Does it suggest a universe far more regulated, far less chaotic than we often assume? Or does it hint at a force so overwhelmingly powerful that it renders any intrusion utterly ephemeral, a fleeting dream upon the vast, indifferent consciousness of deep time? These are the questions that echo in the quiet corners of our minds as we begin to unravel the ultimate silence of the Jurassic. The Jurassic Period, a monumental canvas of deep time, stretches across a staggering 56 million years, from approximately 201 to 145 million years ago.
It was an era of colossal geological transformation where the supercontinent Pangaea, once a single landmass, began its slow, majestic rupture. This grand terrestrial ballet sculpted new coastlines, birthed proto-oceans, and reshaped the very geography of our world. A warm, humid climate enveloped much of the globe, providing the ideal conditions for a verdant explosion of life. Vast, emerald expanses, dominated by towering conifers, intricate cycads, and sprawling ferns, blanketed the landmasses, creating a primordial ecosystem unlike anything we witness today. The shimmering, shallow inland seas teemed with ancient fish and formidable marine reptiles, each creature a testament to the planet's untamed power. Within this magnificent, brutal equilibrium, the atmosphere itself was a character, rich and dense, humming with the primordial breath of a planet in its prime. It carried the scent of damp earth and ancient flora, a heavy, almost palpable essence that would feel utterly alien to our modern senses.
This was a world where the very air tasted different, a vibrant, alien realm whose sheer, untamed grandeur dwarfed any human experience imaginable. Colossal sauropods, their massive forms moving like living mountains, lumbered through these dense forests, their footsteps shaking the very ground, while agile theropods, the apex predators of their age, stalked the shadows, their roars echoing across the primeval landscapes. Yet amidst this overwhelming display of life, a profound and unsettling anomaly persisted, a chilling lacuna in the scientific record that has puzzled researchers for generations. We speak of the Jurassic anomaly, the absolute, almost supernatural impossibility of any foreign element, any misplaced temporal traveler, or any premature technological whisper to leave even the faintest, most fleeting trace. Across countless geological surveys, deep core samples painstakingly extracted from the Earth's crust, and meticulously examined fossil records spanning the entire Jurassic epoch, there is a pervasive, unnerving emptiness. No inexplicable chemical signature, no impossibly advanced alloy, no microscopic anomaly of anything that could be definitively identified as non-indigenous to the period's established biological or geological parameters has ever been found. This wasn't simply a matter of tooth and claw, or the immense churn of geological processes that naturally erase much of history. Initial scientific theories, born from rational deduction, posited the obvious: the extreme environmental conditions of the time, the sheer ferocity of its dominant predators, the vastly differing atmospheric composition, or simply the relentless, immense churn of geological processes themselves, which would have eradicated any fragile intrusion. These explanations seemed logical, offering comfort in their scientific plausibility. They suggested that any errant object or life form would have been swiftly consumed, decomposed, or buried beyond recognition, leaving no lasting scar on the pristine canvas of the Jurassic. However, the sheer completeness of this erasure began to chip away at the initial confidence in these conventional explanations. The absence was too perfect, too absolute, to be merely the outcome of environmental decay or geological activity. It hinted at something more profound, something statistically improbable. The deep time's perfect grinder, as some philosophers mused, was certainly a powerful force, capable of burying mountain ranges and dissolving ancient crust. But could it truly account for such an utter, unblemished void? The more scientists scrutinized the fossil and geological records, the more the silence resonated, a profound testament to time's power not just to bury, but to flawlessly erase, leaving only the grand, unchallenged narrative of its own indigenous life. As the years of study accumulated, the scientific community began to grapple with this Jurassic anomaly, not just as a geological puzzle, but as a philosophical challenge. Some researchers ventured into more abstract interpretations, proposing that the Jurassic period might have been a temporal singularity. This concept suggested a period so perfectly self-contained, so harmoniously balanced within its own evolutionary and environmental parameters, that it actively rejected all external influence. Like a biological system with an impenetrable immune response, it could have possessed an inherent capacity to nullify anything that dared to deviate from its appointed path, ensuring its pristine, undisturbed sovereignty remained intact, a self-protecting temporal bubble. Further speculation led to the biological firewall hypothesis, a notion both intriguing and unsettling. This theory proposed an unknown pervasive force, perhaps a unique energy field or a hyper-efficient microbial ecosystem that instantly decomposed and recycled any foreign matter upon contact.
This firewall would have acted with such unparalleled efficiency that it left the Jurassic record terrifyingly clean, meticulously unmaking anything not native to its own epoch. The idea was radical, pushing the boundaries of conventional science, yet it offered a compelling explanation for the absolute perfection of the erasure, a silent, unseen mechanism ensuring the period's pristine narrative. Mysteries like this were just fragments of a much larger story. If you enjoy following these hidden clues and imagining what they mean, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next discovery. The contemplation of such a force, whether a temporal singularity or a biological firewall, only deepened the mystery surrounding the Jurassic's unyielding silence. Despite the myriad theories, from the purely geological to the wildly speculative, the profound lacuna remained. The utter completeness of the erasure pushed beyond simple decay, hinting at a mechanism far more sophisticated, a cosmic shredder that left not even dust. This persistent absence, this perfect void, served as a constant reminder of the vast gaps in our understanding of deep time and the fundamental forces that govern the universe's grand unfolding narrative, challenging us to look beyond the obvious. Millennials melted into epochs, and the great grinder of deep time continued its work with silent, unrelenting efficiency, further obscuring the already pristine Jurassic record.
Continents drifted with the slow, inexorable pace of geological ages. Oceans advanced and retreated, carving new landscapes and submerging ancient ones. Mountain ranges rose from the Earth's fiery core, only to erode to dust over millions of years, their material recycled back into the planet's crust. Subduction zones swallowed vast swaths of ancient seabed, erasing entire chapters of geological history. The very composition of the Earth's surface transformed beyond recognition, each geological pulse reinforcing the Jurassic's profound silence. Any delicate anomaly, any fleeting sign of an impossible presence would have been utterly consumed by these vast, indifferent forces, its existence dissolved into the planet's own geological memory. The Jurassic silence grew deeper, a testament to time's power not just to bury, but to flawlessly erase. This absolute absence continued to beckon, a quiet, unsettling question that echoed in the vast, indifferent consciousness of deep time. It was a riddle etched not in stone, but in the very absence of it, a profound mystery that would persist until an unexpected whisper from the deep would shatter all previous assumptions. This contemplation on the profound fragility of existence against the backdrop of an epoch that seemed to possess an inherent, almost sentient capacity for utter obliteration leaves us with a sense of awe and unease. The sheer completeness of this erasure pushed beyond simple decay, hinting at a mechanism far more sophisticated, a cosmic shredder that left not even dust. The Jurassic period, then, becomes more than just a realm of magnificent beasts. It looms as a silent, unyielding guardian of its own epoch, a testament to a profound, unseen mechanism of cosmic preservation. What does this absolute absence truly signify? Does it suggest a universe far more regulated, far less chaotic than we often assume? Or does it hint at a force so overwhelmingly powerful that it renders any intrusion utterly ephemeral, a fleeting dream upon the vast, indifferent consciousness of deep time? These are the questions that echo in the quiet corners of our minds as we begin to unravel the ultimate silence of the Jurassic. The profound silence of the Jurassic period, a vacuum where any trace of non-indigenous presence should theoretically exist, has long haunted the annals of scientific inquiry. For decades, geologists, paleontologists, and chemists have meticulously sifted through the planet's ancient archives, employing an arsenal of sophisticated techniques to probe the very fabric of deep time. Deep-sea core samples, painstakingly extracted from kilometers beneath the ocean floor, offer layered chronicles of geological epochs, each stratum a frozen moment in Earth's history. Archaeologists, though typically focused on human past, have lent their expertise to understanding patterns of decay and preservation, while physicists analyze isotopic signatures and elemental compositions with unparalleled precision. Every shard of rock, every microscopic grain of sediment, every fossilized imprint is scrutinized, not just for what it contains, but for what it might lack. Could such an exhaustive, global search truly yield absolute emptiness, or were we simply not looking hard enough, or perhaps not looking for the right kind of evidence? The question echoes through every lab, every field expedition. The methodologies employed are nothing short of forensic. Researchers analyze paleosoil profiles, examining ancient dirt for anomalous mineral compositions or unusual particulate matter that wouldn't conform to Jurassic chemochemistry. They scrutinize fossilized amber, those ancient tree resins, which often preserve minute insects and plant life with astonishing fidelity.
Could not a microscopic fragment of something truly alien, a nanobot, a synthetic fiber, or even an inexplicable pollen grain become entombed in such a time capsule? Advanced electron microscopes peer into the intricate structures of rocks formed during that era, searching for crystalline anomalies, for patterns that betray a design beyond natural formation. The very air trapped in ancient ice cores, though rare from the Jurassic, is analyzed for atmospheric components that might hint at an unexpected industrial emission, a fleeting pollution from a time that should have known none. Yet the results consistently return to the same unnerving conclusion, an absolute unblemished purity. The Jurassic record, as we understand it, is perfectly self-contained. No inexplicable carbon isotopes suggestive of an unknown fuel source. No trace elements that couldn't be naturally sourced from the period's volcanic activity or erosion. No microscopic metallic fragments whose alloy composition defied all known terrestrial metallurgy. This isn't just a lack of large artifacts, it's an absence at the atomic and molecular level, a clean slate that seems almost too perfect, too absolute to be merely the outcome of chance or common geological processes. It challenges our very assumptions about how history leaves its mark. Does the universe permit such unblemished erasure, or is this silence a testament to a force we barely comprehend? Initial scientific theories, born from a rational desire to explain the inexplainable, focused on the obvious, brutal realities of the Jurassic world. The sheer environmental hostility of the era was often cited.
Imagine an atmosphere denser than ours, rich in carbon dioxide, potentially supporting different chemical reactions, and prone to violent weather patterns that could rapidly scour landscapes. The very air could have been a corrosive agent to materials not adapted for it. Would a delicate piece of modern technology, even a robust one, survive long against such an elemental onslaught? Would complex organic materials, like clothing or advanced plastics, endure the constant humidity, the torrential rains, the rapid cycles of decomposition in a hyper-efficient primordial ecosystem? The logic was sound, suggesting that any intrusion would be swiftly reduced to its base components, absorbed back into the Earth without a trace. Beyond the climate, the Jurassic was a world of colossal, untamed life. Predators of staggering size and ferocity roamed the land and seas. A misplaced temporal traveler, even one equipped with survival gear, would face not just the elements, but a food chain utterly dominant and indifferent to their presence. Imagine a Tyrannosaurus rex, or its Jurassic ancestors like Allosaurus, encountering something utterly alien. Instinct would dictate a response, likely one of consumption or destruction. Even if not consumed, the sheer biological activity, the endless cycle of growth, decay, and recycling would rapidly break down any foreign organic matter. The ancient forests themselves, a dense, interconnected web of life, would reclaim any foreign object, burying it under layers of leaves, soil, and detritus, accelerating its inevitable return to the elemental dust. Then there are the immense, relentless forces of geological churn. The Earth's crust is not static. It is a dynamic, constantly recycling entity. Over millions of years, mountains are uplifted and then eroded to dust, their material washed into ancient seas. Sedimentary layers accumulate, burying older strata under immense pressure, transforming them into rock through lithification. Subduction zones, where tectonic plates plunge back into the Earth's mantle, are colossal conveyor belts, devouring vast swaths of ancient ocean floor and everything upon it, recycling it into the planet's fiery interior. Could any artifact, no matter how robust, truly withstand such a grinder over 150 million years? The scale of these processes is almost unfathomable, a slow-motion cataclysm capable of erasing entire continents, let alone a misplaced anomaly. However, as scientific scrutiny intensified, the sheer completeness of the Jurassic's clean slate began to gnaw at these conventional explanations. While geological processes are undeniably powerful, they are rarely perfect. Even in the most hostile environments, some fragment, some microscopic signature, some anomalous isotopic ratio should persist. Consider the survival of delicate insect wings in amber, or the intricate cellular structure of fossilized plants. If such fragile biological forms can endure, why nothing, absolutely nothing, of a potentially more resilient artificial nature? The statistical improbability became a silent alarm bell, suggesting that the absence was not merely the result of decay or burial, but perhaps something more active, more precise,
more deliberate. The Earth's own memory, etched in rock and fossil, is imperfect but persistent. We find traces of ancient meteor impacts, subtle shifts in atmospheric composition from prehistoric volcanic eruptions, and even the faint chemical signatures of long-extinct microbial mats. These are not grand structures, but microscopic whispers from the deep past. So why, in the vast laboratory of the Jurassic, is there no comparable whisper of anything external? No strange mineral vein, no inexplicable concentration of a rare earth element, no microscopic shard of glass whose molecular structure deviates from natural formation. It forces us to ask, is this an indication of an unparalleled destructive force, or a reflection of a temporal barrier so absolute that it permits no interaction, no cross-contamination between epochs? The concept of deep time's perfect grinder thus evolved from a simple geological metaphor into something more profound, almost philosophical. It wasn't just about erosion and subduction, it was about an almost surgical indifference, a cosmic shredder that left not even dust. This wasn't chaos, it was an extreme form of order, a system that meticulously maintained its own pristine narrative. It suggested a universe where certain temporal boundaries were not merely passive lines in the sand, but active, unyielding membranes, designed to protect the integrity of specific epochs. Could the very fabric of space-time have a built-in defense mechanism, a self-correcting algorithm that purged any deviation from its appointed historical trajectory? This profound absence, this perfect void, began to challenge our understanding of preservation itself. What if the Jurassic was not merely a period of intense geological activity, but one where the very rate of decay and recycling was exponentially accelerated for anything non-indigenous? Imagine a microbial ecosystem so efficient, so voracious, that it could break down complex synthetic polymers or exotic metals at an astonishing speed, far beyond anything we understand today.
The planet itself, a living, breathing entity, could have possessed an immune system, a biological firewall against an invading pathogen, ensuring its pristine, undisturbed sovereignty. This would explain the absolute cleanliness of the record, a silent, unseen mechanism ensuring the period's narrative remained unblemished by foreign intrusion. Consider the notion of a temporal singularity. This isn't a black hole, but a conceptual barrier, a period in time so perfectly harmonized within its own evolutionary and environmental parameters that it actively rejected all external influence. Like a perfectly tuned instrument, any discordant note would be instantly absorbed, nullified, and integrated back into the prevailing harmony. This idea posits that the Jurassic, for reasons unknown, achieved a state of temporal self-containment, an epoch that was, in essence, a closed system, impervious to the echoes of the future or the anomalies of the past. Could such a singularity exist, not as a point in space, but as a vast, enduring expanse across millions of years, an impenetrable membrane against temporal cross-contamination? The biological firewall hypothesis, while bordering on science fiction, offered a compelling answer to the absolute perfection of the erasure. It envisioned an unknown, pervasive force, perhaps a unique energy field, or a ubiquitous, hyper-efficient microbial ecosystem that instantly decomposed and recycled any foreign matter upon contact. This firewall would have acted with unparalleled efficiency, meticulously unmaking anything not native to its own epoch. It suggests a planet acting with a profound, almost sentient will to preserve its own narrative, to maintain its pristine, undisturbed sovereignty against any intrusion. What kind of force could operate with such precision and totality, leaving no scar, no echo, no whisper of its operation? Such speculative theories, though lacking direct empirical proof at the time, emerged from the sheer frustration of the Jurassic anomaly. The absence was too profound, too consistent across all investigative avenues to be dismissed by conventional explanations alone. It pushed scientists and philosophers alike to consider possibilities beyond the immediate, beyond the familiar laws of decay and geological transformation. It forced a re-evaluation of deep time itself, not as a passive canvas upon which history unfolds, but as an active participant, a dynamic entity with its own mechanisms of preservation and, perhaps, obliteration. The question lingered: what fundamental principles of the universe might allow for such a perfect cosmic filter? The meticulous search for any anomaly extended to the very subatomic level,
Particle accelerators and advanced spectroscopy were used to analyze minute samples from Jurassic-era rock formations, seeking any deviation in isotopic ratios that could indicate non-terrestrial or artificially altered matter. The premise was simple. Even if an object was completely destroyed, its constituent atoms would leave a subtle chemical signature, a ghost in the machine of the geological record. Yet even here, the results were consistent. Everything, down to the last atom, conformed to the expecto parameters of Jurassic Earth. It was as if the very atoms themselves had been cleansed, reset to their indigenous state, leaving no lingering trace of their foreign journey. This absolute purity, this unwavering adherence to the indigenous, prompted further philosophical contemplation. Was the Jurassic an era of such perfect ecological and geological balance that it simply had no room for anything external? Or was it a period protected by an invisible yet overwhelmingly powerful force, a cosmic immune system designed to purge any deviation? The thought is both awe-inspiring and unsettling, suggesting a universe far more regulated, far less chaotic than we often assume. It hints at a deep cosmic law, an unseen guardian of temporal integrity, ensuring that the grand tapestry of time remains unblemished by threads that do not belong. The search for answers in this profound silence led researchers down countless paths, each one ending in the same perplexing void. The Jurassic anomaly became a testament to the limits of our current understanding, a challenge to the very notion of how history is recorded and preserved. Findings like this remind us how little we truly know about the universe's grand design. If you're fascinated by these missing pieces of history, subscribing will keep you close to the next revelation as we continue to peel back the layers of time. This absolute absence, this perfect erasure, was not merely a lack of evidence. It was evidence in itself, a silent, powerful statement from deep time. Then, the silence was broken. Not by a roar, but by a whisper, a discovery so infinitesimally small, yet so profoundly significant that it sent a tremor through the foundations of human understanding. In a deep-sea core sample, extracted from a subduction zone off the coast of what was once the eastern edge of Pangaea, a region now submerged and transformed beyond recognition, scientists found something impossible. Within a microlayer of sediment precisely dated to the late Jurassic, nestled amidst otherwise unremarkable ancient clays and carbonates, lay an anomaly. It wasn't an artifact in the conventional sense, not a tool or a visible structure, but a pattern, a ghost of design.
This anomaly was an impossibly uniform, crystalline lattice structure, spanning mere nanometers. Its precise geometric arrangement and isotopic composition defied any known geological or biological formation process. Natural crystallization, while capable of intricate patterns, always carries the fingerprint of chaos, of imperfections, of growth dictated by environmental variables. This lattice, however, possessed a mathematical purity, a flawless regularity that screamed of intelligent design, of a construction principle utterly alien to the random beauty of nature. Its constituent elements, while common, were arranged in a configuration that could only be artificial, a product of deliberate, advanced engineering. The implications were staggering. Here was definitive proof that something had intruded into the Jurassic period. This minuscule lattice, utterly inert and embedded within a geological context that suggested it had been almost perfectly absorbed and neutralized, was a silent impossible. The discovery of the Jurassic lattice was not merely an academic curiosity. It was a microscopic earthquake, rattling the bedrock of paleontology and temporal physics. This infinitesimally small, yet profoundly significant anomaly, a ghost of design nestled within ancient sediment, defied everything we thought we knew about the Jurassic period's absolute silence. It was like finding a single, perfectly formed alien pixel in a vast natural masterpiece, a tiny glitch in the matrix of deep time. How could something so small, so geometrically pure, so utterly artificial, possibly defy the perfect grinder that had consumed every other conceivable intrusion for millions of years? This wasn't just a surviving fragment. It was a defiant statement, a quiet question echoing across millions of years, challenging the very premise of absolute erasure and demanding a reevaluation of time's ultimate power. Our human history is replete with tales of out-of-place artifacts, or ooparts, objects that seem to defy their established chronological context, sparking endless debate and fascination.
These anomalies, whether later explained or forever shrouded in mystery, ignite our imagination precisely because they challenge our linear, neatly ordered view of historical progression. They are whispers of a different past, a past where established timelines might bend, break, or even intertwine in ways we cannot yet comprehend. This tiny Jurassic lattice, though infinitely older and more profoundly enigmatic, falls into this evocative category, but on a cosmic scale, forcing us to confront the uncomfortable possibility that our understanding of Earth's story, and indeed the universe's, might be incomplete, perhaps even deliberately curated by forces beyond our comprehension. Consider for a moment the Antikythera mechanism, a marvel of ancient Greek engineering, salvaged from a shipwreck over a century ago. This intricate device, bristling with complex gears and dials, functioned as an astronomical calculator, predicting celestial movements with astonishing precision. Its sophistication was so far beyond what was thought possible for its era that it remained an anomaly for decades, a sudden leap in technological understanding that seemed to appear without a clear evolutionary predecessor. It's a testament to lost knowledge, a jarring reminder that history isn't always a smooth, upward trajectory. This mechanism, though from human history, serves as a potent metaphor for the Jurassic lattice, a sophisticated design appearing in a context where it simply shouldn't exist, a temporal anomaly that rattles our certainty about the flow of innovation. Another intriguing example from human antiquity is the so-called Baghdad battery, a series of clay jars containing copper cylinders and iron rods found in modern-day Iraq and dated to the Parthian era, roughly 250 BC to AD 224. While its true purpose remains debated, some suggest it was for electroplating, others for medicinal purposes, or even as a simple storage vessel. The mere possibility of such advanced understanding of electrical principles in ancient Mesopotamia challenges our assumptions about technological progression. These are not grand structures, but subtle hints, like a misplaced jigsaw piece in the grand puzzle of history. They make us wonder what other secrets might be buried, or perhaps actively suppressed by the relentless march of time, leaving only these cryptic clues to a forgotten past. Then there is the enigma of the Piri race map, compiled in 1513 by an Ottoman admiral, which purportedly depicts coastlines, including a section of Antarctica, centuries before its official discovery. While cartographic historians offer various explanations, the map embodies the tantalizing idea of knowledge appearing ahead of its time, whether through forgotten ancient sources or inexplicable means. These human anomalies, though controversial and open to interpretation, powerfully illustrate our deep-seated discomfort with temporal misplacements, with things that simply do not fit. If our own relatively recent past holds such profound puzzles, what unfathomable secrets might the deep past conceal, especially when confronted with an erasure mechanism operating on a cosmic scale? The Jurassic lattice is in essence a Piri race map of existence itself, charting an impossible intrusion.
The emotional and intellectual impact of these anomalies, whether the Antikythera mechanism or the Jurassic lattice, is profound. They create a cognitive dissonance, a jarring sensation that something is fundamentally wrong with the picture we've meticulously assembled of the past. It's akin to finding a modern smartphone nestled within the sarcophagus of a pharaoh, or a blueprint for a rocket ship etched into a cave painting from the Stone Age. This feeling of unease, of a narrative being subtly undermined, is precisely what the Jurassic lattice delivers, but amplified a millionfold by the sheer antiquity of the period and the previous absolute silence. It forces us to question the very linearity of progress, the neat compartmentalized boxes we use to organize history, and the assumed boundaries of what is possible within specific epochs. To grasp the magnitude of the Jurassic's erasure, imagine it as a cosmic shredder, a universal data processor designed to maintain temporal integrity. This shredder operates not with brute force, but with a surgical precision, capable of discerning indigenous from foreign, instantly pulverizing any non-native data, dissolving it into its constituent elements without leaving a trace of its journey or its demise. The lattice, then, is like a single unbreakable byte of corrupted code that somehow slipped through, a stubborn fragment that refused to be fully purged. It's a minute flaw in an otherwise perfect system, a fleeting echo that survived the ultimate unmaking, a testament to its unique resilience, or the system's momentary imperfection, demanding that we rethink the capabilities of this temporal mechanism. Further, envision the Jurassic period as a living organism, its vast ecosystem and geological processes acting as a sophisticated temporal immune system. Like antibodies instantly identifying and neutralizing an invading pathogen, this system would have purged anything from a future or an alien past. The lattice, perhaps, was akin to a virus that mutated, a fragment of code too small, too inert, or too perfectly disguised to be fully recognized and destroyed by this ancient immune response.
It was a momentary lapse, a microscopic oversight in a system designed for absolute perfection, a subtle crack in the impenetrable membrane that usually ensured pristine, undisturbed sovereignty, allowing a single, silent message to pass through the ages. Or consider the metaphor of a universal censor. Imagine deep time as a meticulous editor, carefully reviewing the script of existence, striking out any plot holes, any characters that appear too early, any technologies that disrupt the natural flow of the narrative. The Jurassic was a particularly heavily censored chapter, its story deemed sacrosanct, inviolable. The lattice, then, is a single forgotten footnote, a minuscule editorial mark that escaped the final proofread, a silent testament to a redacted truth, a piece of information that, by its very existence, hints at a larger, suppressed narrative. What truths were deemed too dangerous, too destabilizing, for the universe's grand, unfolding narrative to allow them to persist, to leave any discernible mark? The erasure could also be likened to a powerful memory-wiping agent. Just as a potent neurotoxin could selectively erase specific recollections from a mind, so too could this temporal force systematically wipe away any memories of intrusion from the geological record. The lattice, in this chilling analogy, is a single stubborn neuron that fired an impossible signal, a fleeting echo of a forgotten event that somehow resisted complete obliteration. This memory wipe wasn't random or haphazard, it was targeted, precise, ensuring that the Jurassic's pristine, undisturbed sovereignty remained intact, a perfect amnesia enforced on the very fabric of spacetime, making any foreign presence a fleeting, unremembered dream. Perhaps the mechanism was more akin to a liquidator, a force that simply dissolved rather than shredded or censored. Like a corrosive acid that leaves no residue, it reduced complex structures and foreign elements to their most basic components, seamlessly reintegrating them into the Jurassic's own elemental cycle. The lattice, however, perhaps due to its unique crystalline structure or its utterly inert nature, proved resistant, an undissolvable grain in an otherwise perfectly clear solution. It speaks to a material that defied the ultimate chemical breakdown, a substance so stable, so perfectly non-reactive, that it could survive even the most aggressive temporal dissolution, leaving a solitary, baffling testament to an impossible intrusion. To comprehend the sheer scale of this erasure versus the lattice's survival, try to visualize finding a single specific drop of water in an entire ocean. Now imagine that the ocean itself possesses an active, sentient will, constantly seeking out and vaporizing any drop that isn't native to its vast expanse. The Jurassic lattice is that one drop that for an unfathomable reason survived the vaporization, remaining suspended, a silent, impossible testament to its unique resilience or the system's momentary imperfection. It's a needle in a haystack, where the haystack is not merely vast, but also actively trying to destroy the needle, making its persistence a profound paradox. Consider another powerful analogy, a single snowflake falling into the heart of a raging hurricane.
The hurricane represents the immense, chaotic, and relentlessly destructive forces of the Jurassic Period, the geological churn, the biological predation, the atmospheric hostility. Any foreign object, no matter how robust, should be instantly absorbed, shattered, or swept away without a trace. Yet this lattice is like a perfectly formed, indestructible molecule of that snowflake, found miraculously intact at the very eye of the storm. It suggests a protection, an inherent inertness, or a specific unknown interaction with the storm's forces that allowed it to persist where all else vanished, a quiet miracle against an overwhelming maelstrom. The Jurassic Period, in its profound silence, was like a roaring storm of pure indigenous existence. The lattice, conversely, is a barely audible whisper in that deafening roar, so faint, so easily missed, yet undeniably present once detected. It's a signal from beyond the noise, a piece of information that challenges the overwhelming silence and demands to be heard, even if its message is still largely indecipherable. This whisper, though minuscule, carries the weight of an untold story, a counter-narrative to the long-held belief in absolute temporal purity, leaving us to ponder what profound truth this fleeting echo carries from an impossible past into our present. Visualize the intrusion into the Jurassic as an attempt to build a sandcastle on a tidal beach. Any structure, no matter how carefully crafted, is doomed to be washed away by the relentless incoming tide, leaving no lasting form, no evidence of its brief existence. The lattice, however, is like a single, perfectly smooth, unique pebble found on that beach, a pebble that by all rights shouldn't be there. Yet it somehow withstood the relentless onslaught of the waves, defying the natural forces of erosion and obliteration.
It speaks to an intrinsic quality, an innate resilience that was entirely unexpected, allowing it to survive where everything else was meticulously unmade by the ocean of time. Perhaps the lattice's inertness was precisely the key to its survival. Unlike a complex machine, a living organism, or any object that would actively interact with the Jurassic environment, this crystalline structure was utterly passive. It was like a ghost, a perfect void of activity, making it invisible to the temporal immune system, too small and too inert to trigger the cosmic shredder. It was the ultimate camouflage, being nothing, doing nothing, yet existing. This suggests that the erasure mechanism was not simply brute force, but a sophisticated system that might have overlooked or ignored anything that didn't pose an active threat or didn't contain disruptive information, allowing this silent, non-interfering witness to remain. The implication of such a discovery is that the surgical indifference of the Jurassic's erasure was not entirely flawless. The mechanism was precise, targeted, almost intelligent in its discernment of what belonged and what didn't. The lattice's survival, therefore, points to a loophole, a blind spot in this otherwise perfectly operating system. Was it a defect in the system itself, a momentary glitch in the cosmic shredder? Or was it a deliberate design choice, allowing only the most inert, information-rich, and non-disruptive forms of intrusion to persist, perhaps as a cosmic message, a silent warning, or a profound riddle intended for a future civilization to unravel? This tiny lattice forces us to pose deeply unsettling rhetorical questions about causality and temporal integrity. Does this minuscule anomaly imply that the universe actively defends its timeline, striving for a fundamental self-consistency? Is there an inherent drive within the cosmos to prevent paradoxes, a cosmic policing of history that ensures events unfold as they should? If so, what does that mean for concepts like free will, for the potential of divergent futures, for the very possibility of temporal travel itself? The lattice is not just an artifact, it's a profound philosophical question etched in the structure of reality, a silent challenge to our most fundamental assumptions about existence. We often personify time as a master weaver, carefully crafting the tapestry of history, pulling threads, cutting others, shaping the grand narrative. And Earth, in this context, becomes a living sentinel, guarding its own past, its own story. The Jurassic, then, was a particularly vigilant guardian, allowing no foreign matter to stain its pristine record. The lattice, therefore, is a single, almost invisible knot, a tiny imperfection in the grand, meticulously woven fabric, a silent testament to a brief moment when the guardian blinked, allowing a fleeting ghost of design to pass through, leaving an indelible, if minuscule, mark on the otherwise unblemished canvas. The origin of the lattice remains a profound enigma. If it was artificial, what kind of civilization, human or otherwise, could produce something so infinitesimally small, yet so perfectly structured, so resilient to the forces of deep time? Was it a probe from a distant future, designed to be almost undetectable? A data capsule meant to observe without interfering? A silent scout from an epoch yet to come? Or was it a last desperate message from a doomed temporal traveler, a final silent scream against oblivion, encrypted in its molecular structure, a final act of defiance against a temporal force that rendered all else to
dust? Its very existence implies a profound, untold story. The implications for our understanding of the universe are staggering. If the Jurassic was indeed a temporal singularity or protected by a biological firewall of immense power, then the cosmos is far more complex, far more regulated, and perhaps far more purposeful than we ever imagined. It's not just a passive stage for events, but an active participant, a cosmic architect with its own intricate rules and formidable defenses against temporal anomalies. The lattice suggests that these rules, while overwhelmingly powerful, are not entirely infallible, leaving us with a sliver of hope for discovery and a profound, unsettling sense of awe at the universe's hidden mechanisms. The Jurassic lattice doesn't offer answers. Instead, it shatters the illusion of absolute silence, replacing it with an even deeper, more tantalizing mystery. It is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, a microscopic key to an untold story, a fragment of an impossible memory. What else has been so perfectly unmade by the cosmic shredder of deep time? What other whispers are waiting to be heard from the ancient, indifferent consciousness of time, hidden just beyond the veil of our current understanding? The quiet contemplation of these questions leaves us with a profound sense of wonder and a chilling realization of how much remains unknown, just beneath the surface of accepted history. The discovery of the Jurassic lattice shattered the illusion of absolute temporal purity, forcing us to re-examine the very nature of the cosmic filter that once seemed so flawlessly impenetrable. If deep time indeed possesses an active, almost sentient will to protect its narrative, then the lattice is a glaring anomaly, a single persistent error in a meticulously curated script.
What if this filter wasn't designed for absolute obliteration, but rather for selective erasure, allowing certain information to pass through, or perhaps failing in a way that reveals its own profound limitations? This tiny crystalline structure, defying millions of years of unmaking, now stands as a silent challenge to the universe's presumed perfection, beckoning us to imagine the profound mechanisms that govern the flow of existence and the silent battles waged across the vast, indifferent consciousness of time. Perhaps the cosmic filter itself is not a monolithic, unchanging force, but a dynamic, evolving system prone to infinitesimal fluctuations or rare momentary lapses. Imagine it as an incredibly complex universal firewall, constantly vigilant, but occasionally encountering a data packet so uniquely crafted, so perfectly inert, or so subtly designed that it slips through the defenses undetected. The Jurassic lattice, then, might not represent a failure of the system, but a testament to its boundaries, a precise definition of what it can and cannot erase. This suggests a universe far more nuanced than a simple shredder, a grand cosmic mechanism with its own intricate rules and rare, almost imperceptible blind spots, allowing an impossible whisper to echo through millions of years. One tantalizing hypothesis suggests the lattice is a remnant of an accidental temporal displacement. Picture a future civilization, perhaps ours or one far beyond, experimenting with the very fabric of spacetime, opening fleeting windows into the past. In such a scenario, a catastrophic malfunction could have jettisoned a probe, a research vessel, or even a fragment of a larger construct into the primordial Jurassic. The forces of that ancient epoch would have swiftly consumed most of it, reducing complex machinery and organic matter to dust within that unforgiving hour of temporal exposure. Yet, the lattice, perhaps a core component of immense resilience, a data storage unit, or a nanoscopic part of an advanced energy source, somehow defied total dissolution, a silent testament to a journey that went profoundly wrong, a ghost of an accident from a future yet to be. Alternatively, consider the chilling possibility of deliberate, highly advanced observation. What if the lattice is a component of a stealth probe, sent back by an unknown, sophisticated civilization, either future human or extraterrestrial, specifically designed to observe the Jurassic without interfering? Such a probe would be engineered for ultimate discretion, employing materials and structures that could withstand the temporal filter, or even mimic indigenous elements at a subatomic level to avoid detection. The lattice, then, could be its virtually indestructible core, a passive sensor, or a microscopic data recorder designed to collect information and then dissipate, leaving only this perfectly inert, impossible fragment behind. It speaks of a consciousness so advanced that it could navigate the very currents of time, leaving only the faintest, most cryptic signature of its presence. Could the lattice be something far more profound, a desperate, intentional message? Imagine a civilization facing an existential threat in its own time, attempting to send a warning or a vital piece of knowledge back through the ages, knowing the temporal filter would make any direct communication impossible. The lattice, in this melancholy scenario, would be a highly compressed nanoscopic data capsule, its crystalline structure encoding a message, a blueprint, or a critical piece of scientific insight designed for maximum resilience against erasure.
It's a cosmic message in a bottle, cast into the ocean of deep time, hoping against hope that it might survive the relentless currents and be discovered by a future civilization capable of deciphering its silent, profound plea, a final act of defiance against oblivion. Pushing the boundaries of our conventional understanding, what if an advanced civilization existed on Earth before the Jurassic, perhaps in the Paleozoic or even the enigmatic Precambrian? Such a civilization, having mastered temporal mechanics, might have accidentally sent a probe or artifact into the Jurassic. Their own eventual disappearance, perhaps due to a cataclysm or a self-inflicted ecological collapse, would have been so absolute that no conventional archaeological record remains. The lattice, then, could be a single, fleeting echo of their lost knowledge, a ghost from a forgotten past that briefly brushed against the Jurassic, only to be almost entirely consumed by the very same forces that erased its creators, a profound irony etched in nanometers. This leads us to the cyclical hypothesis of civilization. What if the rise and fall of advanced societies is not a linear progression, but a recurring pattern throughout Earth's deep history? Civilizations might ascend, develop technologies, including temporal capabilities, only to eventually succumb to geological cataclysms, cosmic events, or self-destruction. Each cycle, the planet recycles their traces,
ensuring that only the indigenous narrative persists. The Jurassic lattice could be a rare, accidental bleed-through from one such ancient cycle, a tiny, resilient fragment that somehow defied the planet's relentless capacity for renewal and erasure, a silent testament to the impermanence of even the most advanced societies against the backdrop of deep time's vast indifference. The great filter concept, usually applied to the Fermi paradox to explain the absence of extraterrestrial life, gains a new, temporal dimension when viewed through the lens of the Jurassic anomaly. What if the Jurassic filter is a great filter, not for life itself, but for temporal interference? It could be a cosmic mechanism designed to prevent any civilization, human or alien, from significantly altering the past, ensuring that each epoch unfolds according to a grand, preordained cosmic plan. The lattice, then, becomes a crucial piece of evidence, indicating that while the filter is overwhelmingly powerful, it is not entirely absolute, allowing for tiny, non-disruptive leaks that hint at its very existence and purpose. The possibility of extraterrestrial involvement cannot be dismissed. Imagine a distant, spacefaring civilization exploring the cosmos, whose advanced probes or even discarded technological detritus were caught in a naturally occurring wormhole or a localized temporal anomaly. Such a phenomenon could have inadvertently deposited a fragment of their technology onto Jurassic Earth. Unaware of Earth's unique temporal filtering mechanism, these alien artifacts would have been swiftly unmade, leaving only the most robust, inert, or uniquely structured components to persist. The lattice, therefore, might not be a product of future Earth, but a silent, microscopic calling card from beyond our solar system, a fleeting sign of an alien presence that briefly, impossibly, touched our primordial world. Consider the profound purpose of such a filter. Could it be a cosmic mechanism primarily designed for preservation, to ensure the pristine, undisturbed evolutionary path of Earth, preventing any temporal paradoxes or contamination from outside influences that could derail the delicate unfolding of life? The Jurassic, being a pivotal period for the diversification of dinosaurs and the emergence of early mammals, might have been a particularly guarded epoch. The lattice in this context is a single, almost imperceptible breach in that cosmic defense, a proof of concept that while the universe strives for temporal integrity, absolute perfection remains an elusive ideal, leaving us with a profound sense of the universe's grand protective design. Or perhaps the filter represents a form of cosmic quarantine. Earth in the Jurassic, a vibrant laboratory of primordial life, was deemed a wildlife preserve by unseen cosmic entities or fundamental laws of the universe. Any intrusion, any external influence would be meticulously purged to maintain its pristine, untouched state, allowing its indigenous story to unfold without external interference. The lattice, then, is a single, almost microscopic contaminant that slipped through the quarantine zone, a silent violation of a cosmic decree, hinting at a vast, regulated universe where certain planets or epochs are protected from external influence, a profound thought that humbles our sense of cosmic significance. What if the lattice itself is a seed, not biological but informational, a highly condensed nanoscopic blueprint for a future technology, a mathematical constant or a fundamental scientific principle, intentionally planted in deep time to survive the temporal filter? Its inertness and resilience would be paramount, designed to lie dormant for millions of years, waiting to be discovered by a civilization capable of deciphering its encoded wisdom.
This suggests a profound long-term strategy, a cosmic time capsule designed to ensure that crucial knowledge transcends epochs, guiding or warning future generations against unknown threats or forgotten mistakes, a silent whisper across the ages. Could the lattice be a memory fragment, not of a device but of a consciousness, a highly compressed, incredibly resilient form of data, perhaps the last echo of a mind or a collective intelligence designed to exist beyond the conventional boundaries of time and space? Its crystalline structure might not be a material, but a medium for storing pure information, a ghost of thought that defied physical dissolution. This pushes the boundaries into philosophical territory, suggesting that consciousness itself might possess an intrinsic resilience against temporal erasure, leaving a faint, persistent echo in the geological record, a silent, impossible dream embedded in the very fabric of ancient Earth. Consider the sentient planet hypothesis, but with a refined focus. What if Earth itself, or a complex microbial biosphere acting as a planetary collective consciousness, actively maintained its temporal integrity? The planet's vast geological and biological processes
orchestrated by an unseen intelligence, would work in concert as a sophisticated immune system, purging anything not native to its own epoch. The lattice in this scenario is a rejected element, a foreign body that was almost entirely expelled, but a minute, inert part of it stubbornly persisted, a silent testament to the planet's formidable will to maintain its pristine, undisturbed sovereignty against any intrusion. This leads us to the concept of the timekeeper entity, a more abstract, almost mythical guardian of the timeline. This entity, whether a fundamental universal law, a cosmic AI, or a conscious being of unimaginable power, actively monitors and polices the grand narrative of existence, acting as the ultimate cosmic editor. It ensures that events unfold as they should, preventing paradoxes and erasing anomalies. The lattice, then, is a single, overlooked editorial mark, a microscopic flaw in the timekeeper's otherwise perfect censorship, a fleeting ghost of design that escaped the final proofread, hinting at a higher order governing the flow of time itself. Imagine certain epochs as echo chambers of time, where only resonant frequencies, elements, life forms, or energies indigenous to that era can persist and thrive. Anything discordant, anything that doesn't resonate with the prevailing temporal harmony, is simply absorbed, its energy dissipated without a trace, much like sound waves in an anechoic chamber. The Jurassic lattice, in this poetic analogy, is a non-resonant anomaly, a structure so perfectly inert, so devoid of active temporal frequency, that it slipped through the echo chamber's filtering effect, a silent, baffling anomaly in a world designed for perfect resonance, leaving us with a profound sense of the universe's hidden harmonies and dissonances. Or perhaps the Jurassic was a temporal sink, a period of such immense gravitational or energetic density that it actively drew in and dissolved any temporal anomalies, much like a black hole consumes matter. The lattice in this scenario was an incredibly dense, perfectly formed structure that resisted complete absorption, a single, undissolvable grain within a cosmic drain. It speaks to a material that defied the ultimate temporal breakdown, a substance so stable, so perfectly non-reactive, that it could survive even the most aggressive temporal dissolution, leaving a solitary, baffling testament to an impossible intrusion, a profound challenge to the very physics of time. The lattice could be interpreted as a message in a bottle of a different kind, a warning from a future that faced catastrophe. Imagine a future where humanity, or another advanced species, discovered the cyclical nature of cosmic events, or a looming, inevitable disaster. The lattice might be a coded fragment, a mathematical key, or a technological seed, sent back in time with the desperate hope that it would be found and deciphered by a past civilization, allowing them to avert the future disaster. It's a silent, profound plea from an epoch yet to unfold, a testament to the desperate lengths beings might go to preserve existence against the vast, indifferent currents of time. Or perhaps the Jurassic was a temporal filter, a period of such immense gravitational or energetic density that it actively drew in and dissolved any temporal anomalies, much like a black hole consumes matter. The lattice in this scenario was an incredibly dense, perfectly formed structure that resisted complete absorption, a single, undissolvable grain within a cosmic drain. It speaks to a material that defied the ultimate temporal breakdown, a substance so stable, so perfectly non-reactive, that it could survive even the most aggressive temporal dissolution, leaving a solitary, baffling testament to an impossible intrusion, a profound challenge to the very physics of time. The lattice could be interpreted as a message in a bottle of a different kind, a warning from a future that faced catastrophe. Imagine a future where humanity, or another advanced species, discovered the cyclical nature of cosmic events, or a looming, inevitable disaster. The lattice might be a coded fragment, a mathematical key, or a technological seed, sent back in time with the desperate hope that it would be found and deciphered by a past civilization, allowing them to avert the future disaster. It's a silent, profound plea from an epoch yet to unfold, a testament to the desperate lengths beings might go to preserve existence against the vast, indifferent currents of time. Perhaps the lattice represents a flicker in reality, a momentary instability in the very fabric of spacetime that allowed something impossible to briefly exist. Like a subtle tear in a cosmic curtain, it offered a fleeting glimpse of something that defied the established rules.
This instability might have been a natural, rare occurrence, or it could have been triggered by an external, powerful event, a cosmic ripple that temporarily weakened the temporal filter's defenses. The lattice, then, is the physical manifestation of that flicker, a ghost of an event that briefly defied the laws of physics, leaving a permanent, albeit minuscule, scar on the canvas of deep time, a silent testament to the universe's own inherent unpredictability. Could the lattice be an unintended consequence of the filter's operation? While the filter was designed for comprehensive erasure, perhaps its very mechanism, in its immense complexity, had an unforeseen side effect. Certain types of matter or energy, under specific conditions of temporal interference and primordial environment, might undergo a unique transformation, rendering them inert and indestructible, thus bypassing the intended obliteration. The lattice, in this light, is not a defiance of the filter, but an unexpected byproduct of its sophisticated function, a silent testament to the intricate and sometimes unpredictable nature of cosmic laws, even those designed for absolute control. The imperfect guardian hypothesis suggests that the temporal filter, though overwhelmingly powerful, is not omnipotent. It has limits, blind spots, or perhaps even rare moments of weakness, akin to a cosmic immune system occasionally failing to detect a particularly elusive pathogen. The lattice, therefore, found one such loophole, a momentary glitch in the cosmic shredder's otherwise flawless operation. This idea offers a sliver of hope, suggesting that the universe's grand designs are not entirely absolute, and that even the most formidable forces might have cracks, allowing for unexpected discoveries and a deeper, more nuanced understanding of existence, challenging our notions of cosmic infallibility. The very smallness of the Jurassic lattice, its nanoscopic scale, suggests a profound truth. Perhaps the universe prefers to reveal its deeper secrets in whispers, not shouts. Grand, obvious intrusions would disrupt the timeline, triggering the full force of the temporal filter. But a minuscule, inert fragment, a ghost of design, might be just subtle enough to slip through, a silent clue left for those attuned to the quietest echoes of deep time. This implies a universe that communicates its mysteries with a poetic subtlety, leaving us to piece together the profound implications of these almost invisible anomalies, challenging us to look beyond the obvious and listen for the faintest, most impossible whispers. The profound implications of the Jurassic lattice extend far beyond mere archaeology or geology. It forces us to pose deeply unsettling rhetorical questions about causality and temporal integrity. Does this minuscule anomaly imply that the universe actively defends its timeline, striving for a fundamental self-consistency, preventing paradoxes at almost any cost? Is there an inherent drive within the cosmos to prevent its own narrative from being corrupted? If so, what does that mean for concepts like free will, for the potential of divergent futures, for the very possibility of temporal travel itself? The lattice is not just an artifact, it's a profound philosophical question etched in the structure of reality, a silent challenge to our most fundamental assumptions about existence and our place within its grand, unfolding, and perhaps curated narrative. We often personify time as a master weaver, carefully crafting the tapestry of history, pulling threads, cutting others, shaping the grand narrative. And Earth, in this context, becomes a living sentinel, guarding its own past, its own story. The Jurassic, then, was a particularly vigilant guardian, allowing no foreign matter to stain its pristine record. The lattice, therefore, is a single, almost invisible knot, a tiny imperfection in the grand, meticulously woven fabric, a silent testament to a brief moment when the guardian blinked, allowing a fleeting ghost of design to pass through, leaving an indelible, if minuscule, mark on the otherwise unblemished canvas. It forces us to question the perfection of this cosmic weaver and ponder the deeper meaning of such an unexpected, subtle flaw in the grand design. The implications for our understanding of the universe are staggering. If the Jurassic was indeed a temporal singularity or protected by a biological firewall of immense power, then the cosmos is far more complex, far more regulated, and perhaps far more purposeful than we ever imagined.
It's not just a passive stage for events, but an active participant, a cosmic architect with its own intricate rules and formidable defenses against temporal anomalies. The lattice suggests that these rules, while overwhelmingly powerful, are not entirely infallible, leaving us with a sliver of hope for discovery and a profound, unsettling sense of awe at the universe's hidden mechanisms, the quiet, unseen forces that shape our reality. The Jurassic lattice doesn't offer answers. Instead, it shatters the illusion of absolute silence, replacing it with an even deeper, more tantalizing mystery. It is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, a microscopic key to an untold story, a fragment of an impossible memory. What else has been so perfectly unmade by the cosmic shredder of deep time? What other whispers are waiting to be heard from the ancient, indifferent consciousness of time, hidden just beyond the veil of our current understanding? The quiet contemplation of these questions leaves us with a profound sense of wonder and a chilling realization of how much remains unknown, just beneath the surface of accepted history, beckoning us to continue our endless quest for understanding. The discovery of the Jurassic lattice, that silent, nanoscopic whisper from an impossible past, fundamentally reshapes our understanding of humanity's place in the cosmic narrative. For generations, we have conceived of ourselves as the pinnacle of evolution, the sole custodians of advanced technology on this planet, a species steadily marching forward through linear time. But what if this perception is an illusion, carefully maintained by forces beyond our comprehension? The lattice suggests that our existence, our innovations, our very footprint on the Earth might be far more fragile, far more ephemeral than we ever dared to imagine. It challenges the deeply ingrained belief in our own unique permanence, forcing us to confront the humbling possibility that we are but one fleeting ripple in an unimaginably vast ocean of cosmic time, subject to a universe far more regulated, far less forgiving than we previously assumed. This revelation compels us to question the very linearity of progress itself. We comfortably chart human history as a steady ascent, from rudimentary tools to complex civilizations, each era building upon the last. But if a cosmic shredder or temporal immune system actively purges anomalies, what does this imply about civilizations that might have risen and fallen before us, leaving no trace? Could the Earth's deep past be dotted with cycles of advanced societies, each reaching technological heights, only to be meticulously unmade, their stories erased by an indifferent yet purposeful temporal filter? The lattice then is not just a sign of intrusion, but a ghost of an untold history, a silent testament to the impermanence of even the most sophisticated societies against the backdrop of deep time's vast recycling indifference. The implications extend beyond Earth, touching upon the very nature of the universe. We often view the cosmos as a passive stage, a neutral backdrop against which events unfold. Yet the Jurassic anomaly, now punctuated by the lattice's existence, paints a picture of a universe that is far from passive. It suggests an active, almost sentient entity, possessing its own intricate rules, its own mechanisms of self-preservation, and perhaps its own formidable defenses against temporal disruption. Could the universe itself be a living system, with inherent laws designed to maintain its temporal integrity, preventing paradoxes and ensuring a fundamental self-consistency? This perspective transforms the cosmos from a silent observer into an active participant, a cosmic architect with a grand, unseen design, where certain temporal boundaries are not merely lines, but unyielding membranes. If deep time possesses such a capacity for absolute erasure, it forces us to reconsider the fragility of memory, not just personal, but planetary. Every civilization strives for permanence, to leave an indelible mark on history. We build monuments, write books, create art, hoping to defy oblivion. But what if the universe itself has a memory-wiping agent, a force capable of systematically erasing entire epochs, entire narratives, without leaving a trace? The lattice, in this chilling analogy, is a single stubborn neuron that fired an impossible signal, a fleeting echo of a forgotten event that somehow resisted complete oblivion. It reminds us that our collective history, our shared story, is not etched in stone, but written in sand, constantly vulnerable to the vast, indifferent currents of time. The existence of a cosmic filter, now undeniably evidenced by the lattice, raises profound questions about purpose. Is this mechanism a deliberate design, a grand preordained plan to guide the evolution of life and intelligence, preventing temporal paradoxes or contamination? Or is it merely an inherent, emergent property of space-time itself, a natural law as fundamental as gravity, yet far more complex in its operation? The answer profoundly shifts our philosophical stance. A purposeful filter implies a universe with intent, perhaps even a timekeeper entity, while an emergent property suggests a universe governed by elegant yet impersonal physics.
The lattice, small as it is, holds the key to one of the most fundamental questions about our reality. Is there meaning woven into the fabric of existence, or is it all a magnificent accident? For those who dream of venturing through time, the Jurassic lattice presents a sobering reality. If a temporal filter exists, designed to meticulously purge any non-indigenous elements, then temporal travel, as we imagine it, might be an impossibility, or at best, an act of profound futility. Any traveler, any probe, any attempt to interact with the past might be instantly absorbed, unmade, and erased within that single unforgiving hour. The lattice's survival, however, offers a sliver of hope, suggesting that perhaps certain materials, certain energy signatures, or certain forms of information might possess a resilience that allows them to pierce the veil, albeit subtly. It transforms temporal mechanics from a theoretical physics problem into a profound cosmic challenge, fraught with unseen dangers and governed by rules we are only just beginning to grasp. This discovery irrevocably alters the landscape of scientific inquiry.
No longer can we assume that absence of evidence is evidence of absence, especially when confronting deep time. Scientists must now consider the possibility of active erasure, of deliberate nullification when examining ancient records. It compels a new kind of archaeology, one that searches not just for what is present, but for the subtle, almost imperceptible ghosts of what was unmade. The search for knowledge becomes a quest for the forgotten, the suppressed, the meticulously redacted chapters of cosmic history. It encourages a deeper look into anomalies, into statistical improbabilities, transforming every lacuna in the record into a potential clue, a silent testament to a hidden truth waiting to be deciphered, pushing the boundaries of our accepted paradigms. What if the Jurassic filter is a form of cosmic quarantine, specifically designed to protect nascent life or crucial evolutionary paths from external interference? If so, does this apply to Earth's future as well? Could our own burgeoning civilization, as it reaches for the stars, be subject to similar constraints, prevent it from altering other wildlife preserves of the cosmos? This perspective paints a humbling picture of humanity as part of a larger, regulated ecosystem, subject to rules far older and more powerful than our own. It urges a profound sense of responsibility, suggesting that our actions in time and space might be monitored, and perhaps even curtailed by an unseen cosmic architecture, ensuring the grand tapestry of existence remains unblemished by threads that do not belong. The Great Filter concept, typically a potential barrier to advanced life arising in the universe, gains a chilling new dimension. What if the Jurassic filter, or similar temporal mechanisms in other epochs, is a great filter, not for the emergence of intelligence, but for its persistence and its ability to traverse time? It suggests that civilizations might rise and fall, achieving incredible technological feats, only to be systematically erased from the timeline, their interventions nullified, and their existence forgotten. The lattice, then, is a single, almost microscopic leak through this filter, a warning that while existence might be possible, permanence and unchecked temporal manipulation are not. It implies a universe where the ultimate challenge is not merely to survive, but to leave a lasting, unerasable mark. If the universe actively defends its timeline, what are the ethical implications for any civilization considering temporal interference? The Jurassic lattice, a subtle scar on the canvas of deep time, hints at the formidable power that resists such actions. It suggests that altering the past, even inadvertently, might trigger a cosmic immune response of unimaginable scale and precision. This shifts the ethical debate from merely preventing paradoxes to respecting an inherent cosmic order, a natural law of temporal integrity. It compels future temporal explorers to consider not just the potential benefits of intervention, but the profound, perhaps cataclysmic, consequences of defying a universe that seems to possess an almost sentient will to protect its own unfolding narrative, a silent, powerful guardian. The discovery prompts a profound philosophical reevaluation of the nature of reality itself. Is our perceived reality merely one iteration, one cut of a constantly edited cosmic film, where certain scenes are meticulously removed, certain characters deleted? The lattice suggests that what we consider history might be a curated narrative, a seamless tapestry woven by forces that actively expunge what could never be. This challenges our fundamental assumptions about truth and objective reality, implying that our understanding is limited by what the cosmic filter allows us to perceive. It forces us to wonder what other layers of edited reality lie hidden beneath the surface, forever beyond our grasp, challenging us to question everything we thought we knew. Despite the chilling implications of an active cosmic filter, the Jurassic lattice also offers a sliver of profound hope. Its very existence proves that even the most overwhelming forces are not entirely absolute. There are loopholes, blind spots, or perhaps moments of imperfection in the universe's grand design.
This minuscule fragment, defying millions of years of unmaking, is a testament to the power of subtle defiance, a proof that even a whisper can pierce a roar. It suggests that knowledge, or certain forms of existence, might find ways to transcend temporal boundaries, leaving faint, cryptic clues for those patient enough to listen to the quietest echoes of deep time. The universe, in its immense complexity, might yet hold more surprises than we can possibly imagine. The lattice forces us to redefine what it means for something to be indigenous versus alien to an epoch. If the filter operates with such precision, discerning what belongs from what doesn't, then the very concept of natural becomes a curated definition. Could certain materials,
certain forms of energy, or even certain states of consciousness be inherently alien to specific periods, regardless of their origin. This deepens the mystery of the lattice's survival. Was it so perfectly inert, so fundamentally non-interfering, that it bypassed the filter's definition of alien? It pushes us to consider that the universe's categories for existence might be far more nuanced and complex than our simple classifications of biological or geological origin, hinting at a hidden taxonomy of temporal compatibility. Ultimately, the Jurassic lattice is the universe's most profound riddle, a microscopic key to an untold story, a fragment of an impossible memory. It doesn't offer answers. Instead, it shatters the illusion of absolute silence, replacing it with an even deeper, more tantalizing mystery. What else has been so perfectly unmade by the cosmic shredder of deep time? What other whispers are waiting to be heard from the ancient, indifferent consciousness of time, hidden just beyond the veil of our current understanding? The quiet contemplation of these questions leaves us with a profound sense of wonder and a chilling realization of how much remains unknown, just beneath the surface of accepted history, beckoning us to continue our endless quest for understanding. As we gaze upon this tiny, impossible artifact, we are left to ponder our own role in the grand tapestry of existence. Are we merely observers, destined to decipher the universe's hidden rules? Or do we too possess an inherent, perhaps undiscovered, capacity to influence the flow of time, to leave an unerasable mark, to contribute to a narrative that defies the cosmic filter? The Jurassic lattice, a silent testament to defiance, challenges us to look within, to question our limitations, and to imagine a future where humanity might learn to navigate the intricate currents of deep time, not by force, but by understanding its subtle, profound whispers. It is a call to a deeper form of inquiry, a journey into the very heart of existence. The revelation of the Jurassic lattice, that impossibly tiny, perfect structure, sends an undeniable tremor through the very foundations of human understanding. It forces us to confront a chilling possibility, that our brief, fleeting existence in that ancient epoch was not merely a matter of biological vulnerability against tooth and claw, but perhaps the consequence of an active, overwhelming force. Imagine a temporal immune system, vast and indifferent, meticulously designed to purge anything not native to its own evolutionary path. This silent, unseen guardian, perhaps a fundamental law of the cosmos itself, ensured the pristine, undisturbed narrative of deep time, leaving no room for the echoes of a future yet to unfold. This concept, born from a nanoscopic anomaly, humbles our perception of permanence, suggesting a profound fragility woven into the very fabric of our being, a fleeting dream upon the vast, indifferent consciousness of time. What then does this singular discovery truly change in our vision of humanity? Are we, in our modern conceit, truly unique in our relentless struggle for permanence, for leaving an indelible mark upon the earth? Or are we too merely one of countless transient ripples in the cosmic ocean, destined to rise and fall, our stories eventually absorbed by the grand recycling indifference of the universe? The lattice whispers a profound, unsettling truth, that our achievements, our technologies, our very presence might be far more ephemeral than we dare to imagine. Each innovation, each grand civilization could be but a momentary flicker, vulnerable to a cosmic filter that possesses an inherent capacity for both magnificent creation and absolute mysterious erasure. It's a contemplation that expands our perspective, urging us to look beyond our immediate timeline to the unfathomable depths of what has been unmade. Does progress, as we understand it, truly unfold in a linear, ever-ascending march, each era building upon the last in an unbroken chain of innovation? Or are civilizations and their technologies merely ephemeral patterns, destined to be absorbed and forgotten by the planet itself, like a fleeting dream upon the vast, indifferent consciousness of deep time? The Jurassic anomaly, now punctuated by this impossible lattice, suggests a cyclical narrative where advanced societies might rise and fall, their intricate stories meticulously unmade, their technologies dissolved into the primordial dust.
The Earth, a living sentinel, tirelessly recycles its own history, ensuring that only its indigenous story persists, a silent, unyielding guardian against the echoes of what could never be, or perhaps what simply wasn't allowed to be. The Jurassic Period, once perceived simply as a realm of magnificent beasts and primordial landscapes, now looms larger in our collective imagination. It transforms into a silent, unyielding guardian of its own epoch, a testament to a profound, unseen mechanism of cosmic preservation. This isn't merely the brutal indifference of tooth and claw, it is the surgical indifference of time itself, a grand, universal architect with its own intricate rules and formidable defenses. What kind of cosmic design mandates such absolute temporal integrity? What hidden laws govern the unfolding of existence, ensuring certain chapters remain pristine, untouched by the echoes of other eras? The lattice, a minuscule flaw in this otherwise perfect system, compels us to consider a universe far more regulated, far more purposeful than our limited senses can yet fully grasp. Thus, the discovery of the Jurassic lattice leaves us not with definitive answers, but with an even deeper, more tantalizing mystery. It shatters the illusion of absolute silence, replacing it with the profound, unsettling quiet of an impossible memory. What else, we must wonder, has the universe so perfectly unmade, leaving no trace but the faint, almost imperceptible whisper of its absence? What other echoes are waiting to be heard from the ancient, indifferent consciousness of time, hidden just beyond the veil of our current understanding? The quiet contemplation of these questions leaves us with a profound sense of wonder and a chilling realization of how much remains unknown, just beneath the surface of accepted history, beckoning us to continue our endless quest for understanding.